Welcome back to another action figure review. In this review, we're going to be continuing our look at Hiya Toys' Exquisite Mini Predator line. In this review, we're going to be taking a look at the Predator 2 Shadow Predator. This is the packaging we're used to seeing. Is a box style with a very large window display in the front. On the bottom left, we have a picture of the Predator. On the right, we have Exquisite Mini Predator 2 Shadow Predator. And at the bottom, we do have some warning for choking hazards. These are not for children under the age of 3. And these are recommended for ages 15 and up, more marketed towards your adult collector. The top and the bottom of the packaging just says Exquisite Mini Predator 2 Shadow Predator. And on the side it just says Predator 2. On the back of the box, we have the Exquisite Mini Predator 2 Shadow Predator at the top. Hot Toys defines Exquisite Mini as a new stand series for 118 super articulation action figures under Hot Toys. I'm not sure. It's definitely misspelled there. Then we have the social media contact for Hiya Toys, Twitter and Facebook. Hiya Toys company information. 20th Century Fox always reserved. The choking hazard warnings that we discussed already. Here's a barcode, a UPC, if that helps you at all. Which I'm not sure it's going to help you here in the United States, since these are more offered through a online presence than in a store. Maybe in a hobby shop, but not in your big box stores. Here we have 2 product shots of the actual figure itself. So let's go ahead and take it out of the box. Before we get started, I just want to go and say that this is going to be a straight up out of the box unboxing. What that means is that I did not do any preliminary checks. All I did was slice the tape to do this review to make it just a little bit more easier. So what does that mean? That means I want to show you what it's like to get a Hiya Toys Predator figure just out of the box. So that's going to definitely hinder our ability to show you the bend ratios of the joints, more than likely, but who knows? It may come out of the box perfect. I don't know that. But just thought it'd be different this time than me, heating up the joints and showing you the after effect. Here is the backdrop. It's just a piece of cardboard. And in most of the Predator figures, we do have a product insert, which shows off some of Hiya Toys' other offerings for the Predator line. I do not know why they classify most of these Predators as Predator 2. I think it's just they went with the packaging style and they ran with it. So here's the figure in its clamshell. Looks fantastic. You get a ton of accessories, which is great. So let's go ahead and take a look at the figure and accessories. So we'll start with the figure. Okay, here he is. My first impressions is, wow. Overall, of the appearance is incredible. The amount of detail and paint that has went into this figure is incredible. Let's take a look at that head sculpt. Wow, look at that dome. The top of his head is incredible. We have some very dark tats, dark like a maroon red with black dots and a yellow skin tone. Has his black dreads with his beads. These are both all individual, as you can tell. Very nice. Here on his face, his eyes are pretty well painted. I think they have some dark red in there with the black pupils on the inside. Here we have his mandibles open. You can see in the interior it is done in a pink with his teeth or fangs. When I first look at this figure, if you look at the side of his face here, This looks like he's like a blood-soaked predator. It just looks like he has blood stains all throughout this figure. So all over his body, he initially has a yellow skin tone, but he has these red stains all over him. He has on all of his arms, hands, on his back, his legs. It looks like he just slaughtered somebody and just rubbed blood all over him. He comes with 2 shoulder pads. Small one on this side, a little larger one on this side. He has a necklace of bones. The necklace is a brown plastic. It's very stiff. And we have the bone color of these bones on his necklace. He does have some soft goods. Here on his shoulder pads, this is actually soft material. It goes around to his back. I'm assuming that is glued on there, or because it's not very movable. It might be part of the harness. There's a harness under his neck. It gives another bone necklace underneath his chin there. It's very tight around that neck. On his belt, he has that very same cloth material. I'm almost going to call it fur, because it looks like fur. And it does wrap around his entire waist. He has his gauntlets on. He has some kind of bare knuckles, or brass knuckles, on his hands, because we have the black with the silver on each knuckle, or spiked knuckles. He does have that, I'm going to call it utility belt, for his throwing desk, and he has a pad on this side. 2 knee pads, 2 shin guards, and his feet. Overall, this figure looks pretty menacing. I do like the paint scheme and design of this figure. Very cool. So I've done enough Predator reviews to know that most of these figures are just the same buck over with a different design and deco and accessories. But the articulation is pretty much the same. So we're going to attempt it, because this is a straight up unboxing and the joints more likely are not going to function very well. So attempting to move his neck, which is on our ball joint, it moves side to side. You can get a 360 on there once you get the joint open, but he does do pretty good outside the package. So let's see what we can do with the shoulders. With a good bit of effort. They do rotate 360 in working order. It kind of stuck there. This one's not moving at all. They do raise up to the limit to the shoulder pads at the shoulders, but that's not moving either. The elbow is not bending. It is stuck. It has to be heated. This one's stuck also. We can rotate the hands. This hand's a little tighter, but it does rotate all the way around. He has ball jointed hips. He has thigh rotation here. This one seems to move more. This one's stuck. The knees, I got a little bit in here. That's it. Needs to be heated. And I cannot move the upper joint. Nope. Seems like the bottoms are more flexible, but I can feel them stressing, so I'm not going to push it. And his ankles have a little joint to pivot down a tad bit, but don't look like those are working. And there's a 360 rotation, and it is stuck also. So that, here's some chest articulation, a little bit of a crunch, side to side. That seems to work the best. But the purpose of this demonstration is to show you what to expect straight out of the box. So you just can't take these out of the box and go play heavy play. You have to take some extra care to them and heat them up very carefully. You might have to do it a couple times. These are not recommended for kids That's one of the main reasons, and the overall appearance isn't probably the best to be giving to a child. Could creep them out. This one's pretty disturbing as it is. I'm not sure if they're going for, because this isn't a predator from a movie, it's just the interpretation of another predator. So if they're going for a red skin tone like that, or if that's a blood-soaked predator, that is pretty freaking awesome in my opinion. He has a fantastic presence. I love the soft goods. Let's take a couple looks at a couple of the other unmasked predators. Here is the lost predator. See, he is so much more detailed than this figure. I mean, he has a great head sculpt on this figure, but the lack of soft goods and the little extra pizzazz, I guess, isn't there for the lost predator or the shaman predator that we're going to take a look at if I can ever pick him up. This is just insane. It is probably my favorite of the unmasked predators. I'm not a big fan of the unmasked. I do enjoy the different style masks that the predators have. But this one's definitely by far my favorite one. Alright, let's take a look at some of his accessories. So here he has this stand. This is a mud stand we're used to seeing. You can connect these to all the other predators simply by using these two, either I or H brackets, whatever you prefer to call them. And you may experience different tolerances, but these are definitely looser. You can put them up here however you see fit. It can be a little aggravating sometimes trying to get those to actually seat together, but it's not hard. Not hard at all. He comes with a collapsed spear. He does have the copper spear with a gray center. And then he comes with a extended spear. It's pretty much follows suit in the color scheme, but it is extended out. The thing I will say about these is the large diameter spears here in the handle, so be very careful. It will extend those hands. Those hands are not, in my opinion, designed correctly to put these large diameter weapons in his hand. But, so be very careful with that. He comes with his throwing disc. It's done in a aged steel type color with a heavy black wash or dry brushing. You can see the holes throughout. There are extra hands that you can try to get him to hold at by putting his individual fingers in those little holes. And he does have a place on the side of his leg here with two pegs. You just gotta line up two pegs and stick it on. I am not going to fight with it because it can be a little bit challenging, especially through the camera. But I'm going to show you kind of what that would look like once you have it seated correctly. So it looks very cool. I love the color of that one. Very awesome. Okay. So that is his main weapons that he comes with. So he comes with two more sets of hands. So we have the more, oh, that's not the right one, so that one. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. Got a power stuff here. Here is his, just not this open hand hanging out. He has those like those padded knuckles. Red, white under the bottom, which is kind of weird because it doesn't really match. It should be more of a yellow, but who am I to say where it goes? So here he has more of a articulated dynamic hand that you probably want to use for that disc, or you're reaching out to grab, choking poses. So what's really cool about this, you get some skulls. So you get this. This is what we're used to seeing from a lot of the Predator figures, is the spinal cord and skull with the missing jaw. It's just interesting they didn't go with the, there's a red version of this, it's just all bloody. They didn't go with that one. It probably would have fit this figure a little better. But these are a very welcome accessory for me. I do like these. And I'll take them with every Predator if they're going to give them out. The second skull is some type of alien looking skull. Whatever creature, alien that this came with, or when it was alive, had to be a pretty sizable enemy, because that head is huge compared to his head. Very nice. Definitely painted. Does look like aged bone. So we have his eyes here. I believe that's his nose and mouth with some pretty wicked teeth. He does have his little jaw. There are some spikes here on the side, 2 in the front and 1 there. Now, if this is actually a character from the Predator universe, I do not know. If you do, please comment down below and let me know, or if it's just something that Hot Toys kind of threw together. And if you are a customizer, you may be able to drill a peg hole and utilize his head for a custom, if you so fit to do that with your skull head here. But overall, very cool accessory. I'll take the skulls any day. Nice figure. So let's do a couple comparisons for you guys. Here he is with the an invisible Predator. We did a couple reviews, or I'm sorry, comparisons with the some of the other unmasked Predators. So let's do a couple with the masked version. Here he is with the Jungle Predator. Looks cool. Here he is with the, okay, this is probably, if I get this right, this is the Falconer Predator, I believe. But these are more of the, they're just a bit taller than all the other Predators. So these 3 Predators, like this, come from the Predators movie, when they got dropped onto a planet. And so they're big, they're actually bulkier and taller. So I've been kind of classifying more as an alpha Predator versus these other Predators. And there's only 3 of them that come pretty much in that size. Here is the one of the Predator Hounds. If you want to give him one of the Predator Hounds, that's how he would look with it. It's actually pretty scary. So, here he is with one of the other Predators. Here he is with an Acid Rain figure. Sorry, scales. It's definitely taller. Here he is with Hot Toys Injustice 2 Red Hood. So he scales. Here he is with a Joy Toy figure. That's very cool. Let's see what else we can find here. Here he is with a his Brutus from Fortnite. That's how he scales a Brutus. Here's with a G.I. Joe figure. So overall, it looks pretty good. I do like the overall design and look at the figure. I'm pretty much used to the articulation for these guys, so I do enjoy these figures. I know a lot of people complain about the joints. I feel the same way. I agree with you 2,000%. I just wish you can open up the packages and go with it. What I'm hoping for one day is Hiya Toy to listen to somebody in the collector's universe and say, hey, we're going to have to step up our plastic. That's what they need to basically do. They need to take a look at some of the other lines, some of your small batch companies like Joy Toy or Toy Lions, which make your Acid Rain figures, and try to get that blend of plastic and use that. And even though that these figures are a more brittle plastic than we would like, they still sell out left and right. So I don't know, unless something dramatic happens where sales fail, they're not going to probably change. I don't see them changing the mold. As you can see, they use the same buck pretty much over and over. So the engineering's done. They have the molds. They can run those molds, like crazy, and pump these figures out left and right as fast as they can come up with a paint scheme or another design. I mean, outside the three Predators on the top from the Predators movie, they're all the same buck, except for these guys. And I think these three guys are the same buck with a different paint scheme. So they ran the molds for these guys and these guys. That's our two molds that they currently have available and been engineered. These are a little better quality plastic, but they still plague with the same issues. Their joints are stiff. They need to get those tolerances corrected in the plastic just a little bit better in durability, and these things would be even more popular than they already are. But that's the nature of the beast right now. That's my opinion, and I think that as long as they're selling out, they're probably not going to do a whole lot more. They do have a ton more of these coming. As kind of a heads up, because you've watched the video so long. If you do not know, they're starting to tackle. They have one more from the Predators, which is the Crucified Predator. They want to do a masked one, or like they call it armored, and they do almost an unmatched version of every one of them plus battle damage. So it depends on what they have a variety of figures available for what you would want. But after that, they're moving into the Alien vs. Predator line, which is they look fantastic. I don't know. I'm hoping they improve on their plastic, but there's probably at least 9 Predators coming by the end of this year. Is estimated date. Starting in the summertime, you're gonna start getting some of those. There's some more Elders, some Celtics, some a Wolf Predator. The 3 main ones from the first Predator vs. Alien movie. So kind of anxious to see what they're going to put out. So that's kind of a little heads up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and this content. I highly recommend these figures. They retail between $19.99 and $29.99 depending on the release and the popularity of them. So check around their different online stores like Amazon and some of these smaller toy companies that you're probably familiar with, because if you are watching this, you're probably a collector. So that's about all I got for you guys. If you're a subscriber and you've been watching my reviews, this will probably be the last Predator review for a while until summer, or until those new figures start coming out and being released. But stay tuned. There'll be more of these to come as they're released, and we have a lot of plans, some other stuff too. Hope you guys enjoy. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. That way you'll get notified when I do upload those reviews. If you do enjoy the Predator reviews, please check out my other reviews. Please consider subscribing, share the video, like the video. If you would do that, I'd really appreciate it. And hope you guys find all your collectibles you're looking for. Stay safe, keep collecting, and we'll see you in our next review.